Yeah.
Oh, it's the best. I'm so happy.
And what does it mean to be working with Blake again?
Oh, what are you talking about?
They say Hollywood is built on bright smiles and perfectly polished stories. But what if the truth behind those smiles is far more tangled?
So what happens in the third one? No, I'm joking. Capri and Rome, honestly. So Paul, we really wanted to make this second movie, and I was like, Paul, he wanted to shoot in Capri, and I was like, that sounds amazing, but it's very expensive, and let's just, shoot in Connecticut. That's where the first one took place.
Today, we're uncovering the swirling rumors and eye-opening accusations surrounding Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively, and Ryan Reynolds. For ages, they've dazzled fans on the red carpet, headlined major film projects, and seemed every bit the picture-perfect stars. Yet, recent on-set friction and frantic damage control by PR teams point to hidden tensions no one saw coming.
I didn't understand why I needed to be Capri, and now I want to live there. I love it so much. They serve you ice cream and lemons, and it's just magical. They sell hats. That crazy, beautiful hat was just a hat in a store.
By the end of this video, you'll learn about the shocking power struggles, the alleged manipulations by all sides, and the final bombshell that may change everything you thought you knew about this trio. Stick around, because once Justin Baldoni speaks out, there's no turning back.
Yellow from this reflection. Should we suit up?
Yeah.
It's a little yellow.
Before everything spiraled into controversy, Justin Baldoni joined forces with Blake Lively for a film adaptation of a best-selling novel. Fans were thrilled. The book's enormous popularity virtually guaranteed a passionate audience. And with two big names attached, many expected smooth sailing. Early whispers hinted at creative disagreements, small cracks in the foundation that might have gone unnoticed if tensions hadn't escalated. What kicked things off was the dynamic between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni in pre-production. Insiders mentioned that Lively seemed unusually hands-on, pushing for more control than a typical actor might.
I think there are better people for that one.
Justin.
I think Blake Lively's ready to direct. That's what I think.
Baldoni reportedly admired her ambition at first. He believed working with someone so detail-focused would elevate the film. But just beneath that cooperative surface, a storm was brewing. Rumors began circulating about who was really in charge, with some saying Lively brought her husband Ryan Reynolds into key decisions early on, which made other producers uneasy. Yet none of this was enough to send alarm bells ringing just yet. There was too much riding on this film, so everyone tried to keep the peace. But that's the funny thing about hidden sparks of tension. If they're not carefully managed, they grow. By the time the cast and crew were ready for principal photography, some watchers claimed you could feel an undercurrent of uncertainty on set. And that was only the beginning, because once all eyes turned to the actual filming process, stories of conflict would erupt in a way no one could have predicted. But that first sign of friction was nothing compared to the firestorm that was about to come. Once filming kicked into high gear, the drama escalated quickly. According to various unconfirmed reports, conflicts flared up around who controlled specific scenes and how the story would be told.
Told us that Justin Baldoni claims she tried to take over his movie because she has a history of saying, okay, I'll be the star, but what I secretly want to do is direct it and edit it and produce it.
Lively apparently demanded script changes. Baldoni pushed back, wanting to keep closer to the novel's original tone. That friction alone might have remained a private issue, but the tension wasn't just limited to creative choices. Whispers of behind-the-scenes power moves began floating around. Some crew members alleged that Lively insisted on rewriting parts of the script with Ryan Reynolds' input. Meanwhile, Baldoni and his team were said to be concerned about ballooning production costs and last-minute changes that disrupted a delicate shooting schedule. One day, it was an issue with the wardrobe budget. The next, people were whispering about major reshoots for scenes that had already been completed. Outside of official statements, fans started picking up on a strange vibe.
I would show up on a set. I knew that they just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say. But I also knew that that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative, whether that be in the writing, in the costume design, in creating the character. And sometimes I had directors or producers or writers who would welcome that and invite that once they saw that I was able to offer that. And sometimes I would have people who really resented that because they were like, we just hired you to be an actor. Yet when I went in the meetings, I would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig. I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled. So I think that for them, sometimes that might have felt like a rug pull because you're like, you're trying to assert yourself into something that we didn't hire you to do.
Photos from the set showed forced smiles. A few cryptic social media updates hinted that something was off. Then, the rumor mill spun faster when an unnamed insider implied that multiple PR teams were scrambling to contain leaks about big blow-ups during filming. The world smelled controversy, even if no one in the spotlight would confirm it yet. Of course, if the set was tense, the real meltdown was about to erupt during the press tour, because sometimes the harsh glare of public scrutiny reveals even more than the cameras on set.
Blake, I'll start with you. How emotional did this
The RCA dog make me.
What's that?
How emotional did seeing the RCA dog this morning make me?
When promotional interviews and red carpet appearances began, fans expected the usual glam and mutual admiration. Instead, subtle signs of unease kept surfacing.
And that's why I want to personally extend my gratitude to Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, typically known for their witty banter, looked more guarded. Justin Baldoni, on the other hand, seemed torn between enthusiasm for the project and a need to hold back certain details. Observers noted that in some interviews, Lively would abruptly switch topics to mention her other projects or personal ventures, almost overshadowing the main film they were there to promote.
Because this is a tiny movie. Like, it's big and flashy and summery, and we're like, it's a summer blockbuster, but really it's a very, kind of low-budget movie.
It didn't help that the social media reaction was swift and brutal. Critics claimed Lively was using the film's spotlight to promote her own brands, while practically ignoring the delicate themes of the story. Others noticed that Reynolds, famous for his comedic charm, was missing from certain promotional events, leading to wild speculation about internal conflicts. Every slip, every awkward silence, fueled rumors that something deeper was at play. Then came the swirling talk of an alleged smear campaign. Anonymous chatter suggested that one of the PR teams was trying to shift blame for the film's questionable marketing onto Baldoni and his associates. Meanwhile, fans watched in confusion as the entire promotional strategy seemed chaotic. Was the movie supposed to be edgy, uplifting, comedic, or all three? No one could tell. One thing was clear: behind the fancy outfits and red carpet moments, something major was unraveling. But if you thought conflicting interviews and awkward events were the worst of it, what came next involved serious allegations and public attempts at damage control that turned the drama into a full-blown showdown. In Hollywood, public perception is everything. So when rumors surfaced about direct clashes between Reynolds, Lively, and Baldoni over who really owned the film, many wondered if it was all just typical tabloid hype. But the stories kept piling up, and leaked messages seemed to confirm that real battles were happening off-camera. Battles involving professional reputations, creative rights, and personal pride. Sources close to the situation described near-constant tension between Lively's desire for authorship, a polite term, some say for complete creative control, and Baldoni's original vision for the movie. Ryan Reynolds reportedly stepped in to defend Lively's choices and even offered suggestions on comedic elements, despite the film's serious subject matter. Meanwhile, certain producers and publicists were caught in the crossfire, trying to appease these star talents without derailing the entire production. All the while, gossip columns speculated that phone records, mysterious text messages, and frantic behind-the-scenes meetings fueled mounting suspicion. Some alleged Lively's team was planting stories to shift blame toward Baldoni, painting him as unsupportive or even obstructive, while Baldoni's camp insisted these tactics were a last-ditch effort by Lively and Reynolds to salvage their own reputations. With so many conflicting narratives, fans were left guessing who to believe. Yet, just when it seemed the drama couldn't get more explosive, allegations of truly serious wrongdoing began to surface, sparking a wave of confusion and setting the stage for Justin Baldoni's eventual decision to break his silence. When talk of serious allegations first emerged, it rocked the fan community. Speculation erupted. Did something disturbing happen on set? Was someone's character under attack? Multiple outlets circulated claims that a PR team was covertly spreading stories of misconduct directed at Lively. Simultaneously, another version of events suggested that an entirely separate group was targeting Baldoni, with rumors designed to undermine his credibility as a producer and director. This back and forth turned the controversy into a full-on circus. One day, an insider would claim that Lively felt creatively stifled and was forced to rewrite scenes herself, while her publicists defended her as just trying to protect the integrity of the story. The next day, someone else would leak an email implying that Baldoni had been the victim of a carefully orchestrated smear campaign, all to excuse the film's messy promotional rollout. Throughout it all, Reynolds stayed tight-lipped in public, appearances which only fanned the flames of public curiosity. People asked why the usually talkative star seemed so uneasy. Lively, too, dodged pointed questions about tensions with Baldoni. At the same time, Baldoni seemed to go radio silent, appearing at events with a careful, measured smile that never quite reached his eyes. The rumor mill churned with theories about potential lawsuits, sabotaged marketing, and entire press packages meant to discredit one party or the other. And that's when Justin Baldoni finally had enough. After months of half-truths and whispers, he stepped forward with a perspective that turned everything upside down. In a decisive move, Justin Baldoni confronted the swirling accusations head-on. He released a statement, thoughtful yet direct, suggesting that many of the shocking claims were part of a larger game of reputation management. According to insiders, Baldoni confirmed that multiple PR agencies became locked in a power struggle, each desperately trying to spin the narrative to protect their star clients. The real tragedy, he implied, was that the film's core message got lost in a fog of self-promotion and internal feuding. He hinted at manipulations that came from every direction, from Lively's side, from the studio, and even from his own team, though perhaps to a lesser extent. He didn't deny creative disagreements, nor did he claim his own decisions were flawless. But what he did emphasize was a pattern of intentional leaks, strategic social media chatter, and carefully curated evidence that painted drastically different pictures depending on the agenda of the person sharing it. Baldoni spoke about wanting the movie to speak for itself, and how disheartening it was to watch behind-the-scenes challenges overshadow what should have been a meaningful story. Fans were stunned. Many had believed that only one person was at fault, or that the drama was straightforward. But Baldoni's words suggested a far more complicated reality, a project caught in the crossfire of clashing egos and brand protection. He also shared that he'd tried to maintain a professional relationship, even when Lively's demands sometimes felt extreme. The real stunner, though, was still to come, and it would reveal just how far some parties were willing to go to reshape public perception. If you thought Baldoni's explanation was surprising, wait until you hear the bombshell that forced everyone to question the official story they'd been fed all this time. In a startling turn, leaked documents hinted that false accusations had been deliberately planted, accusations designed to paint Baldoni as the villain whenever the film's publicity faltered. This revelation exploded every notion of a simple spat. Suddenly, there was talk of possible lawsuits and countersuits, of personal vendettas overshadowing professional duties. Some described it as an all-out war between PR firms, a high-stakes battle to control the public narrative at all costs. Piecing these discoveries together, fans realized the drama wasn't just a single feud between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. Ryan Reynolds may have played a behind-the-scenes role, or he may have tried to remain neutral. Opinions vary, but multiple insiders insist that Reynolds' brand and star power added more fuel to the fire, making damage control an even bigger ordeal. No one wanted to tarnish an A-list power couple's glossy image, nor did Baldoni want to jeopardize his reputation as a respectful collaborator. In the end, the revelation that entire narratives might have been shopped around by certain publicists, complete with carefully edited texts and selective leaks, was enough to make everyone skeptical of official statements. It called into question every headline, every denial, every cryptic red carpet moment. If any good came out of the chaos, it was the realization that fans and media alike need to dig deeper, question the hype, and remember that sometimes the most shocking stories are merely orchestrated illusions. So, where does that leave us? In a swirl of rumor and fact, with allegations flying and reputations hanging in the balance, the one certainty is that Hollywood's glossy veneer often hides a labyrinth of complex relationships. Justin Baldoni's willingness to speak up peeled back the curtain on a world where spin sometimes matters more than substance, and where authorship can quickly turn into a battle for absolute power. For Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, their shining public image may endure, but not without questions about how far they'd go to protect it. Ultimately, The drama behind this film is a testament to just how volatile big-budget projects can become. When clashing egos, PR battles, and personal ambition collide, it leaves fans, and even industry insiders, wondering, what other secrets might be lurking behind Hollywood's next blockbuster? What other PR feuds are quietly unfolding right now, shaping the very narratives we eagerly consume? Feel free to share your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Who do you believe? The carefully curated statements from star publicists, or the raw honesty of someone who finally decided to speak out? And which side of the story do you think is the most convincing, given everything revealed so far? Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the stories behind the headlines. Until next time, stay curious, and remember, the truth isn't always what it seems.